Hey, Michelle here from Sensate Soul and the Soul Translator. And in today's video, I wanted to pop off a quick couple thoughts about comparison. So I don't know about you, but I was raised with a lot of mixed messages around comparison. My mom used to say that it's unfair to compare. And then my father would say, why can't you be more like your sister or brother? So I was definitely raised with a mixed message on that. And also, being an HSP and an empath, that comparison stuff has gotten pretty ugly in my life because, and I've gotten, pretty harsh on myself, my negative self-talk and different mindsets that have come from this feeling of, I'm not like everybody else. And yes, we're all unique and all, absolute amazing creations, once in a lifetime, once in the universe. The chances of you being born is like 1 in 4 trillion or something like that. So we're all absolutely unique. And because I work with HSPs and empaths and those who are increasing their sensate soul sense in life and in their work to be truly alive and empowered and present, we're talking mostly about how empaths and HSPs have probably suffered quite a bit in the sense of your, self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-belief around comparison. Because the thing is, we are a special bunch. We are neurodiverse. We are within 20% of the world's population. Empaths, HSPs are 20%. Empaths are 5 to 10%, which is some of the latest numbers, estimates. And we do feel life differently. There's higher emotionality. Our nervous systems are wired higher and more enhanced and intense, which is part of, let me add this here. To be HSP means you're SPS, or sensory processing sensitive. That is like the big umbrella term for HSPs and also empaths. So we are sensory processing sensitive, and that means we have a more heightened, more touchy, and also more sensitive, sensate nervous system to be able to feel energies, emotions, state changes of energy around us. There's so much to that. And when we like any time when you're different and you look at the world and everybody says, this is the way life is, and this is what mainstream, kind of what is acceptable and what is, what is normal, quote unquote. A lot of us are raised not with the belief that to be sensitive is normal. In fact, it's usually shamed and shunned and criticized. And we are often told that we are somehow maybe inferior, or we are strange or weird because of being sensitive, and all the other things that people can say, and that we end up saying also to ourselves if we internalize that, which many of us do. That's where our mindsets and beliefs come from, that we work on, that we then get to shift so that we can grow in our self-love and our empowerment. So I wanted to speak just quickly about this comparison idea of that on a certain level, a lot of empaths and HSPs can have kind of this automatic sense of comparison. I see this, I know this in myself. I've seen this in, over the years of people that I work with, that there's just kind of this feeling of like, where do I quite fit in, and why aren't I more like that, or why aren't they more like me? What's going on in this place? What is this place I've landed? So give yourself a break if you have been giving yourself a lot of crap around comparison. It truly is the thief of joy, as the saying goes. It truly does, as the other saying goes, comparison kills. But what it also does is it doesn't give us, it holds us back from birth of who we truly are, of birthing the things that we want to put out into the world. If you happen to also be an HSP empreneur, as I call a sensitive empathic entrepreneur. So it holds us back because we get into a lot of comparison around, well, if I do it right, I should do it that way, or I should follow that person's system so that I can make it work in the mainstream world. And that's a whole nother level of mindset shifting that we need to do if we're stepping out into the world in our business and in spotlight or public as an empathic entrepreneur. But please give yourself a break if you've been, getting into that comparison chaos inside yourself. There is no one other person or being on the planet that is you, that ever has been, or that ever will be. So you really, really, when you lean into this idea of and this truth that you are an absolutely unique, infinite, ultimate, original, that comparison then all of a sudden is not even a point. There's no point to it, because it's really like saying, if you put, a tree, I'm just looking at a tree, so I'm using that example. If you put a redwood tree next to a alder tree and you say, well, one's better than the other, because come on, it's so absolutely ridiculous when you look at it that way. And it can really become a sabotage. It can really get into holding us back. It's really, really, really important, because when we drop the comparison, it's a way to self-love and to have self-honor for who we are and what our unique gifts and talents and personalities and abilities and contribution, if we choose to contribute something, which is pretty important for a lot of us, most of us, I would even dare to say, because it's kind of like we want to be doing something of importance that makes us feel good and that helps also others to do something that feels significant, because it's one of the primary, human motivators is significance. So comparing yourself, please, 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 let's let that one go today. Find, if you need to, write down 5 unique characters that only you have, or 5 unique experiences that really that nobody else has done. There's those little funny things that you see on social media sometimes when people say, tell me something about you that I would never know. And it's amazing when you read those. It's like somebody who you thought was one way, and then you read this wild, crazy, daring, amazing thing they did, which is only unique to them. So, find some ways to really cultivate a unique, original mindset, and the self-respect and the excitement that you feel about, wow, I am created as a unique being, versus the comparison. And there's just no point to it. There really isn't. All right, take sweet, sweet care. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, as well as come on over to Sensate Soul and join us over there. There's lots of different resources for you as an empath, as an HSP, as well as for sensational living. Yep. I love to reiterate. That's one of my uniqueness. All right, take sweet care. See you in the next video.